Hello my angels, what is up? Welcome back. Today I have got a treat for y'all. We have the brand new Lisa Eldridge Seamless Skin Enhancing Tint, and they sent me 3 shades in this that I will be able to swatch for y'all and compare. We're going to do an application, a review. I've been wearing this non-stop since I got in PR a couple of weeks ago. And also we have some other things that I'm gonna get first impressions on. So like this box contains the new CL bronzer sticks. I don't know how many of them, we'll see. I bought this. This is Diamond Dog, the new shade in the Moon Dust Shadows from Urban Decay, whatever, you know, we love Space Cowboy, we love Lithium. You can see why I bought this because it looks right up my alley. And I also have the new eyeliner and mascara from Lisa Eldridge. We'll see what we can fit into this face of makeup, but the main focus is going to be the Lisa Eldridge skin tint. So if that is what you came here for, that is what you will learn about, whether it is for you today or not. We're gonna compare it against other things in my collection. I'm gonna give you my holistic opinion on it as we go. Let's go ahead and jump in. All right, y'all. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Lisa Eldridge knows color. Oh yes, that is the vibe. That's what's happening. I just need my hair off my face. I'm having one of those days where like everything is particularly annoying. So I'm just like, get all the hair off my face. So this comes in 18 shades. It's $49 and you get 1 fluid ounce. And they sent me shades T2, T3, and T4. Let's swatch them. It's so easy to see in the shades that she puts out, especially I feel like in her complexion ranges, that she understands undertones so well. She and I did have like a brief moment of lamenting the fact that there are all of these lines coming out of complexion products from other brands. My personal opinion would be like, you know, House Labs or the new Natasha Denona concealer. It's not new anymore, but the newest one, where as it gets into the fairest shades, they're like not human skin tones anymore. They're kind of like ice cream colors or like color correctors, but they don't look like skin. And she really validated me. Like that was my take, but to hear her say it, she's just such an expert in her field. She is so fastidious about the way that all of her makeup is produced. She owns all her own formulas. So either way, here we have 2, 3, and 4. 3 looks a little bit lighter than 2 because on me it's a little bit rosier, and I think that that's something that just naturally looks a little bit lighter by comparison to my skin. But 2 right here is the kind of yellower of them, and then as you can see 4 is just too tan for me aside from the undertones. So 3 does work really well for me, but actually 2 being as kind of yellow as it is works better for me. So if you have pinker undertones, I think Tom bought 3, that was a very good choice for them, Hope Mess Tom, because they have a very similar skin tone to me, except just a little bit on the pinker side. So as you can see, 4, I think, is a little bit olive even. So that's news you can use as well. There are plenty of people who follow me who are kind of that light medium olive undertone. So I have vitamin C on, I have sunscreen on, I have moisturizer on, and we're just gonna go ahead and go in with shade 2. I'm gonna swatch this also against some of my other kind of recent favorite skin tints just to show you all the differences in the coverage and the consistency when we get down to it. But for now, let's just take in the loveliness of just applying this. So it's quite thin. I've been wearing this so much because it wears all day. A lot of the comments that I got initially when this came out and I said that I had it already were people asking if it's similar to the Kosas original tinted oil. It's soupy like that, you know, it's very thin like that, but it's so much more sophisticated. The Kosas oil is, or was, it's been discontinued, but it is a formula that's basically a suspension of finely milled dirt, like minerals, in high quality oils. There is no real emulsifier to it. There is no real thickening agent or smoothing agent to it. It doesn't have like silicones in it or anything. It's an extremely simple formula, and it was very polarizing in that sense. This I feel like is just so much more of a crowd pleaser. Because it looks like that, but it wears more like a makeup. And I mean, in that sense, it wears in a more sophisticated manner. It doesn't feel makeup-y on the skin, but it will tolerate powder. It will build. Let's see if we can get it to build a little bit over some of the pigmentation that I have. I was in Florida last week and, you know, my pigmentation comes out a little bit. And also, I tried the new Kosas tinted sunscreen and I was really checking the ingredients earlier because I was like, does it have self-tanner in it? Because I put it on and it was bronzy. But when I washed it off, I felt like my skin was bronzer as a result of wearing it. And you know, there are things that do that. I didn't see claims on that. I don't really know what the ingredient list would have to say for that. I'm not an expert, but I definitely feel like my face looks tanner than it did before I put it on. I don't know, probably my imagination. But yeah, I was in Florida over the weekend, y'all, and I'm just going to tell you because there are very few things that I'm actually able to share with y'all in my life. And so when it's something that is specifically only about me and I feel like I can talk about it, I'm gonna share because I want to. I always want to. And that is being home with my family made me realize that I am ready at almost age 37. I am ready to move back home. Like, I got out, I did the thing. I saw the world. Not really. But I mean, I think that it was important for me to get out and see things, obviously. But now I have a kid and I miss my family. I miss the warm weather. I miss the stable base of being close to my family and being with my mom and everything just over this past, like, I was there for 5 days. It was very clear, very quickly, that I was like, this is the next step for me. I have to figure out how to move back home. So anyway, I don't know. I haven't been on camera in like a week, so a lot to say apparently. That's what it looks like. It's absolutely gorgeous. Oh my God, that's right. I have the new YSL bronzer too. Y'all, I got the new Gucci Cushion Foundation in the like light neutral shade. or fair neutral, whatever it is. 2, I got shade 2. This is so light. This is so light. I don't even know anybody this light. I don't even know who to give it to. I don't know anybody who has lived outside of the sunlight spectrum like their entire life, like long enough to wear something like it is so light. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I am not above buying the next shade when I think that it's gonna be worth it to review. It's like, okay, I got the wrong shade, that's on me, I'll buy the next one. But I looked at that shade range. It's so hard to find good photos of that shade range online to begin with. And I was like, let's buy the next one. And I looked and I was like, I have no idea. I have no idea what shade to buy. None. Like, I don't know because they all look the same. So I don't know. It's just really strange. Anyway, let's have a little swatch party and then we will go through, I don't know, we'll kind of do a big piece that people can skip over if they just want to go to final thoughts where I do the rest of my makeup and everything. I have to stop myself at just a handful or I will swatch my entire collection in one video. Y'all know me, once I get in the weeds, I'm like, well, you know, if it's relevant kind of thing. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to swatch against the Lisa Eldridge. There's our Lisa Eldridge swatch. That's again shade 2. Next, Ciel. I think that this is the most relevant one. This is also in shade 2, which I bought recently. I gave 3 to my friend Rebecca. Hey, Rebecca. The reason that I think this is relevant is because I love it just as much as I love the Lisa Eldridge. The Ciel has a little more coverage. And obviously it's got sunscreen, so that's probably why it has a little bit more coverage because it's got a lot of like zinc or titanium or something. Dioxide, zinc oxide 12%. So that's going to add to the coverage. It also wears beautifully all day. If you want the sunscreen and you want the coverage, I would say go for the Ciel. And if you are not interested in having sunscreen in it. Oh, also I should mention the finish looks a little dewy on me because I'm wearing a very like hyaluronic acid heavy SPF underneath, but it's not dewy. There's something really incredible about that. It is a true skin finish in my opinion, which is so uncommon. There are so many of these complexion products coming out that are like natural finish, natural finish, natural finish. And it's like, that's just their way of saying it's not dewy, but that typically means that it's like matte or oil controlling. But you can see as these are drying down, the Ciel is, I mean, it's not completely dry yet, but it's still going to be a little more glycerin-y in finish. Whereas the Lisa Eldridge, I feel like truly is like a radiant natural skin finish. Beautiful. Then we have something that is not technically a skin finish, but it's my favorite foundation. So I feel like we should compare it regardless, and it is kind of medium coverage, and that is the Prada Reveal Foundation. And this is in the shade LN5, and that's it right there. It also has a skin finish. It also happens to be $70, and the refill I think is in like the ballpark of like $50, something like that. So it's comparable in kind of the luxury of it and also in the formula, but you can see it's thicker. It wears more like a foundation. All that to say, this is still, I'm obsessed with it. It's still one of the best things on planet Earth. and I haven't heard a bad word about it yet. So if you say something bad about it, you have the distinction of being the very first. So the next I have is the Kosas BB Burst Tinted Gel Cream. I love this, but one person pointed out that the packaging was giving like CoverGirl, and I was like, oh, yep, can't unsee that, because it's true. It's still really beautiful though. So this is in shade 13, which is my shade. I just adore this, but it does have quite a dewy finish, on me at least, which is saying a lot because my skin likes to just absorb moisture. So that has a little less coverage. It also has like a moussey texture, and it's a little more like hydrated looking on the skin. I wouldn't say that it's as like much of a natural finish. All right, next we have Danessa Myricks. This is the Yummy Skin Serum Skin Tint. Another one that's, I feel like, a sleeper hit. Like, all these people message me, even Tom, like they'll message me and they'll be like, I bought the Danessa Myricks skin tint and it's so good. And I'm like, I know. I've been telling you all this. This does have quite a bit more coverage than the other ones that we're talking about here, but it still wears so beautifully. It doesn't look like makeup. And that's in shade, come on. That's in shade 2 and it disappears into my skin. It's the best shade match. Such a phenomenal shade range from Danessa Myricks. She also, I will say, her color choices sometimes I don't necessarily love, but A, she gets texture, and B, I do feel like she really understands undertones. Look at that. I mean, it's gone. Like, that's the one that just completely disappears. If we're skin twins, go for shade 2 in Danessa Myricks. But it has like a glycerin finish. It's really gorgeous, and it can be worn, like, you can build it a lot more than the other ones. You get a lot more coverage out of it if you want to. All right, next I have the Glossier, which is gonna look like nothing because the Glossier Perfecting Skin Tint is the lightest coverage thing in my collection, basically. And it always serves as a good milestone to compare to, but like, where is it? It's right there. It's mostly a texture on the skin. It's really pretty though. It's beautiful. And I will say, it does have silicones in it. It does wear beautifully like a makeup, and it isn't wildly dewy. Then we have the Typology, which I always have to give like 18 caveats on because it always sells out and it only has, I think, 6 shades. But if you have this already and you found your shade in it, it's worth comparing. It is really pretty though. And it does have silicone in it, and it does wear like a makeup. It's very, very thin, but also quite perfecting. It's just one of those kind of like, you know, French girl one and done kind of skin tints. It's so pretty. My swatches are getting smaller and smaller. You can tell you can tell I'm doing this with my non-dominant hand. And so things were, you know, I could have had to pull them on the rails, but also that I'm running out of room. And I think that this is the last one. Yeah, I have the Chanel Vita Lumiere Aqua in 10 Beige, which is usually my shade, but I feel like this one is a touch dark for me. I think it might be because it's so matte. The Vita Lumiere Aqua is light as air, but it is the mattest skin tint I own, and as you can see, it's kind of too dark for me. Maybe as I get a little tanner in the summer, but isn't that wild? Like, I always wear B10. I always wear beige 10 and everything from Chanel, but like that is much darker than the other beige 10s that I have. So this also has sunscreen in it, but the reason that I bought it is because they finally took the octinoxate out. So it just has titanium dioxide in it. So they switched it to a mineral sunscreen, which is really cool. For those of you who do need some oil control, I think that the Vita Lumiere Aqua is a really, really good skin tint for combo skin, and just be aware that the color pulls a little darker in this formula compared to what you might know that you are in Chanel for other formulas. Okay, so if you just came here for final thoughts on the Lisa Eldridge, you can jump through on the timestamps, and for everybody else who just came here for entertainment purposes, let's play with some more makeup. Whoa, cool, they sent me 4 shades in this. This is gonna be first impression, and we will have a full review of this at some point. So this is the new Ciel bronzer. What's this thing called? Sculpt and Protect SPF 30 Sculpting Stick. Oh, I didn't even show you the component for the Lisa Eldridge. It's really cool. It's like an egg. Some people really didn't like the first one, the Seamless foundation, because it was based on kind of this piece of art that she loves that's like this, you know, reclined model, like a reclined nude, I think. And that was sort of the idea. But this one's even, I feel like, more pleasing to hold in the hand because it's just so pleasantly, it's just pleasantly pebble shaped, you know? So that's really nice. Anyway, this is the Ciel component. I love the colors that they choose because to me, it feels unisex. I know that that's kind of, I don't know, assuming a lot because obviously like any color can be unisex, but there's just something about this that like feels like even like the most mask person would be like, Yeah, I wear CL. I'm not gonna lie. Those first three are really similar. Let's blend them out and see if we can see more of the undertones of them. It's almost like, aside from deep, the other ones are mostly about undertones. So like, I'm gonna use the lightest one. This is 1, because it's got a rosier undertone and a little less saturation. 2 is gonna be more green. It's just gonna be more olive. 3 is, I feel like, a little bit more golden, a little bit, but it doesn't look golden because it's next to the green. And then we have this very deep one that's just kind of a neutral brown. I'll have to see how they go on, because yeah, those first 3 and then the deep one, it's interesting. It's like an interesting choice. I'm not gonna go straight in on my face because this skin tint, I don't know, I just don't want to disturb her. Not that I think that she'll disturb easily, I just don't want to. I want this to be gentle. Okay. There we go. I'm really picking some up. There we go, now we can see it. I feel like it falls right in line with the rest of the CL stuff in the sense that it's very slow building, but it's not liquid like the blushes, so hopefully it will stick around. Yeah, there will be some more trying new makeup videos coming up because I did buy a bunch of new luxury stuff, but it's not available at Sephora. Even though YSL is at Sephora, the new YSL bronzer isn't. Even though Gucci's at Sephora, the new cushion foundation isn't. So who knows? Oh, also Mermaid Glow from Chanel is back. It's on Macy's right now if it hasn't sold out already by the time this goes up. It is quite like resistant. You know, it's got a little bit more waxiness to it. It's less creamy, but hopefully that means more wear time. And it's got sunscreen in it, which, you know, we love to see it. Okay, so, I mean, first impression. You're seeing it the same way I'm seeing it. I think that it's very pretty. I think that it has like a really nice finish on the skin, the way that it's sort of dewy looking, but it doesn't feel sticky, and it is very like smoothing. So that's nice. I haven't concealed yet. Let's conceal. Got a little bit of Kosas concealer here. Just a little. I really don't feel like we need a ton after the skin tint, and then also the bronzer I feel like it's just really enhancing. God, this is making my skin look so much better. I haven't worn makeup in a week. I only brought the Glossier Stretch Concealer to Tallahassee with me, and that was it. So I really just like went the whole week without wearing any makeup, just a little tiny bit of coverage where I needed it, and sunscreen obviously. But the whole crew is headed to New Orleans next week, and it's also my birthday. Creators and Friends is, if you are unfamiliar, because God, I mean, you know, Beauty Guru Chatter would have you think that it's some kind of, I don't know. I don't read it, but I just know that they have opinions. Either way, it's an organization that Simbri and Samantha March put together to basically help influencers be able to network with each other, because there's just nothing like that in our industry. There's just all these like high budget brand trips that are not the kind of thing I'm getting invited on kind of thing. But there's nothing that's kind of just low pressure and centered around us all kind of being together. And so while there are events that are funded by brands and stuff, and there are like, you know, favors and stuff, we pay our own transportation, and you know, we're there very much by choice. Like we're not being paid to be there. We don't like sign a contract to be there or anything. There's no obligation to post about any of the brands or anything. It's literally just about like networking and getting to know your coworkers. And it's been so awesome. I've made so many friends, like quote unquote, in my industry. It's awesome. Okay, I feel cute. I feel cute. So the other thing that I wanted to use today is the new Moon Dust. I haven't done my blush or anything yet, but I just wanted to do this before I decide on other things. And this is in the shade Diamond Dog. This is going to very much lend itself to somewhere between Bedroom Eyes Brown and Bedroom Eyes Bambi. Holy crap. And I will be honest with y'all, I'm not gonna use these today, but we will get around to it at some point. These are the new eyewear shades from Victoria Beckham, and this is the shade Shroom. Now look at that, look at the color on the package. I was really under the impression, because it was called Shroom, that it was going to be just a really beautiful kind of like Bedroom Eyes Bambi tan. It is very lavender. I don't know. It's a taupe for people who have really either fair skin or cool skin. I would say cool skin. Like, it's just nowhere near what I was expecting it to be. And when I put it on, it is so lavender. I actually have two because I bought them and they sent them to me. So I've already told Simbri I'm giving her this one because she has a beautiful medium cool undertone, and that is that is going to her. But I will also have another one on hand. That's very interesting because I really thought that these were gonna be comparable, and you can see why this is something that works so much better on me. So I think I'm gonna start in with a Merit shadow here. I do really like these. Vachetta? I think Vachetta is gonna be right. I'm gonna use an Angie Hot and Flashy BK A501. This has always been kind of my favorite cream shadow brush because it's stiff and not stiff, but like firm and packed enough to get the product to obey. A synthetic brush is always gonna be a little bit better for a cream just because it doesn't soak the product up and it's a little easier to get it to spread. And I like that it's kind of paintbrush shaped because then it's like I, don't have to try and blend it like it's a powder shadow. I can just paint it where I want it. So there's Vachetta. We don't have anything like iridescent on my skin yet. So this will be fun because it's going to be like very selective in terms of where we have sparkle. And I always love that because it makes it even more effective. I also just tweezed my eyebrows today for the first time in like, I feel like a month. It was very satisfying. Let's go in with Diamond Dog. I'm pretty sure that this is a site exclusive, but it might be on Ulta. I haven't looked, but I bought it off of the Urban Decay website. It's just really excellent. It's like if you took lithium and just made everything really neutral. It's like what I've been waiting for Victoria Beckham to put out in a lid luster, is just a neutral but not too gray, not too green, like medium brown color. Because mink is just too dramatic on me. Now, since my fingers are just not that precise, we're gonna take something and blend that. Got this big boy brush from Make. I think that that's gonna be just the trick because it doesn't need to be a very precise shape. I just need it to blur. This is called the All Over Shadow Brush, and that's exactly what we're doing with it. Nice. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It does need some outer corner work because I am who I am. I always want to build that shadow in the outer corner. Otherwise it feels like you can see, it's kind of closing my eye off and making it look really narrow. So I'm gonna go in with one of my favorite kind of, outer corner shades, and that is the Monocolor Couture shadow from Dior in Poncho. I'm gonna use a Singe Beauty EO2 for this. A very pigmented shadow. So it doesn't need much. Has a touch of satin to it, but not so much that you can't use it in the crease and still get a believable shadow. Okay, I'm gonna grab something little here. God, this is a Nikki LaRose N12. Very cute. And I'm going to grab a little bit more of the Moon Dust in Diamond Dog and go underneath because I feel like this is just begging to be smoky. And I don't think that I'm gonna use the Lisa Eldridge liquid eyeliner because I just don't use liquid eyeliner. It would really ruin it because I am bad at liquid eyeliner and it doesn't look good on me, not because I don't like liquid eyeliner or like I don't like her liquid eyeliner. I'm gonna grab Glaze on a small brush. This is from Make Beauty, and that's just gonna be my inner corner color, and I'm grabbing this on a BK 209. There, that's nice. A little bit in the brow bone area here. What color blush do we want? I'm gonna go with the new Patrick Top. Cause like, sometimes you're looking for something that's not too much. So we're going to play with not too much. I have this old as hell Real Techniques brush. That's what I'm gonna use. You probably can't get this anymore, but who knows? This is a very pigmented formula. So even though the color is not too much, sometimes the pigment can be too much. So be very, very careful. We're hunting wabbits. And then we'll go in with the cream because those are the rules. I don't make the rules. Actually, let's go with contour first. I'm gonna go in with the Sephora Powder Contour. Looks super gray, do not fear. It is very, very low pigment, so it works beautifully even for beginners. And if you are still trepidatious about it, it comes in other shades. It's just really pretty. Now, let's cream blush. This one's a little bit mauve, a little bit more mauve than the powder, which I think is gonna look really good with this because that eyeshadow look isn't completely cool or completely warm. It's very balanced neutral, so I think it'll work. All right, even up close, my skin looks really good. I'm going to powder a little bit, do my eyeliner, and I'm gonna use the new Lisa Eldridge mascara, but you'll see it. It doesn't need to be in like real time for y'all to see it. And then we will come back and chat final thoughts. George from Lawless. I think it's gonna be perfect for this. Okay, so we don't have much in the way of blush actually, so let's do a little more. Otherwise I don't look healthy enough, you know? And then I also wanna do some Mermaid Glow because, like I said, at least at the time of filming, it is back in stock. So Chanel Mermaid Glow, I definitely have fallen in love with this as I've had it. I was like, it's a little bit too glittery for me, but then, you know, I just kind of feel like it goes with so many things and it adds something so fantastic without looking too ethereal. Ugh. Whereas Dragé, I love Dragé, but it's blushy, you know, so it's gonna add pink, and this just adds a really pretty sheen, a little spritzy. So if you skipped ahead or if you tuned all the way in, we are going to be talking now final thoughts on this. I want to read the claims real quick just to make sure that we're, I don't know, taking that into consideration with my review. The unique hybrid formula of the enhancing tint works to seamlessly even tone, lift shadows, tone down redness, and boost luminosity. Think your skin, but on its best day. The ultra lightweight texture delivers a burst of hydration whilst simultaneously delivering blurring pigments to perfect and even the skin tone. I think that those claims are very clear, especially considering what it was that I said, kind of presenting it initially based on my experience with it. And that is that it is blurring, it's lightweight, it builds, the shade range is phenomenal, and it's super long wearing. I will insert some footage that I took, I think I took it like 2 different days, maybe just one, of this after a really long day, like wearing it like 9 hours or something with powder on top, with makeup and everything, and it just works. It's just great. I loved her Seamless Skin Foundation. It's something that I always loved, and I feel like it didn't get the attention that it really deserved, especially for the shade range, but this is so lovely, so beautiful, and very, very quickly made it into heavy circulation for me, heavy rotation. So among all of the skin tints and everything, I really feel like this is up there with the CL, which puts it very high in my opinion, but there is something more luxurious about using it, even though it's still a plastic component and everything. I feel like this is a more luxurious package to interact with than the CL, but that's just my opinion. So yeah, y'all, that's the Lisa Eldridge skin tint. I wanted to make sure that I wore it for a while before I gave y'all my thoughts on it, just so that I could give as much of a nuanced impression of it as I could. And hopefully if you did tune in for the rest of it, you got to see some valuable first impressions on everything. And I will list everything down below. So I hope y'all enjoyed this. If you did, please do give the video a thumbs up. I forgot to say this in the beginning, but if you made it all the way to the end of the video, I mean, obviously you enjoyed something about it. And this is what we do on my channel. We compare things. I'm going to give you my opinion also backed up by evidence, which is why, you know, I have a 4K camera and things like that. Like, I want y'all to be able to see it just as much as hear my opinion. And my mission always is to make sure that you end up with the makeup in your hands that works the best for you. If you are new here and those things sound appealing to you, then subscribe while you're here. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for putting up with me today. I am like, I think it's allergies or something. Like, I feel like there's like a cloud around my head, and I'm sorry. I'm just like really muffled, but thank you so much for being here. I love y'all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.